Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time, On Target Morning Brief, where we invest with fighter pilot precision on a daily basis. Well, the Coinbase IPO's direct listing is now behind us, and what an exhausting day yesterday. We'll recap that after I get through the open here, but that we'll knock that out first. Kind of talk about what happened, talk about how they got a little greedy, how they could have done that a lot better, and they may pick up a little bit of a meme for corporate greed here off of how they handled it, but I think it'll be instructive for the next time we have a direct listing. Is people are going to talk about, is it going to pull a Palantir or a Roblox, or is it going to Coinbase us, turn into a verb? If you bought in yesterday, obviously you're down, even though, of course, all the headlines say you're up 40%, right? You're not, you're down about 13%. You're making about half of that back this morning already, and I think it might even get back to even by today, but we'll get into that in a second. But what we're going to talk about today is Luckin Coffee. You probably have not heard of this name unless you've heard. If you've heard of it, you probably heard it from me, because there aren't that many people talking about it. This is, again, a Chinese coffee company, lots of risk. Don't just hop into this thing willy-nilly. And again, today is not really a buy point. Today is a sit back and slap some high fives, as well as, kind of talk about, should we trim here, or do we just let this thing roll higher? I do have a $20 price target on it. People were laughing at that when it was down at $1.18. I stand by my target. I still think it runs there. I don't have all the shares that I had. Yes, I've trimmed along the way because that's the right thing to do. But sometimes that's tough, right? And I may even trim off a few more shares here just because I have so much of it, but we'll see. But yeah, that's what we're going to talk about today. If you're catching us on replay, thank you so much for checking us out. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notifications bell so you know when these go live every day around 9:30 Central. And if you are catching us live, what you don't see is a Q&A window and a chat window off to the side where people can interact with me and ask me questions. And you get all of that for $25 a month. With that, let's go ahead and get started.
Black, hearing their frustrations expressed, we felt compelled to have to express that.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Here is the lineup card for the day. Tax day, right? Wrong, not tax day, because it's they got moved everything 1 month to May 17th. Otherwise, today would be another wicked busy day for me, but we have another month to get everything done. All right, make sure you have your chat window and your Q&A window set up correctly. Also, standard disclaimer applies here. This is a financial education presentation. You have to do your own due diligence before acting upon anything you hear in this presentation. Full disclaimer information is available at OTOTnow.com, and especially with something like Luckin Coffee, because this is about as risky as it gets. It's getting less risky over time, but still pretty risky. All right, here's our mission objectives: grow our money, protect our money, live off our money. Today, we're talking solely about growing our money and, talking about the thesis, talk about the backstory, a little bit of Luckin, and then we're going to talk, these are the opportunities that I look for, because obviously the folks that are in it are anywhere from 1, 2, 3, 4, 500%, almost 1,000% if you nailed it down at the bottom today, or excuse me, back in the day. And I wouldn't expect you to have all your shares down there, but my price point's in the lower twos, and it's over 11 this morning. That's where it's going to open. You'll see that. You will not see it generally unless you're looking at a chart. because it's not recorded until it opens, and that's when you'll see the big jump. So Luckin Coffee is back. We will also talk about Coinbase and the IPO and what happened. Excuse me. Luckin Coffee went through a Chapter 15 bankruptcy, which not a lot of people are familiar with. So we'll kind of close on what that's about. Different than Chapter 11. Chapter 11, buy, you're done. Chapter 15 is a debt restructure. So, and it's talking about U.S. foreign relations there. So that's what happened with Luckin. That's why they were not dead when, the headline is Luckin bankrupt. That's like, well, that's a headline for sure. But it's not true. True, I guess. But it was Chapter 15, not Chapter 11. So, all right, let me put the longs and shorts back in here. And there you go. All right, we're going to go long, short, open, short, long. We're going to look at a market review, go around the world. We're going to come back to the U.S. headlines. Banks are beating earnings. Life is good. I mean, Delta, for some reason, is with their earning. I mean, they missed their earnings badly, but they say they're going to be profitable by June. That's pretty amazing coming out of a pandemic. So in a way, bad news is good news there. The only long-term investment we're going to talk about, well, we'll talk about coin because we need to talk about what happened yesterday, and then we'll talk about Luckin. We'll get into short-term execution. Coin and Luckin are both valid opportunities there. PPD, I bought this pre-market. You'll see where I have it. If you're interested, you can buy it here. They're getting bought by Thermo Fisher, and they're sitting at $45.95 right now, price point, and the acquisition price is $47.50. So the only reason it won't go to $47.50 today, which is people believe that the acquisition might not happen. I do think it will happen, so I think the price jumps there today. So I'm already into my trade pre-market. Again, trade, not investment. I don't know what PPD does and don't care. I just want it to go to $47.50 so I can exit. All right, contingencies and academic resources are standard. All right, let's go to Think Pipes. You'll see what I'm talking about. Here's Luckin right at 11 right now. Obviously, it closed down here at 960. The big news, there was a big news article out that they're completely through their debt restructure and on into, so they've executed the debt restructure. So the Chapter 15 bankruptcy was, I don't know, a month or two ago, whatever. That was the big negative headline where it went from like $10 to $5. Well, now they've kind of executed all that. So really, I do not know of an obstacle standing in front of Luckin anymore. So we'll talk about the full story when we get to the chart. Here's PPD. You can see where it is. There's my buy point. So you can judge me on how I'm doing. So 45, I think it was, 87 exactly. So I have a stop down here at 45.57. So I should probably put that in there. So that's my stop in case there's the story's like not true or something. But yeah, that's what I have so far. And you also have Dell as a long. Coin is also up quite nicely this morning. All right, let's back it out. So we did have a red candlestick yesterday. Mostly that was selling going into the close. I think Coinbase spooked everybody, right? So let's talk about that right now. So you had 245 is where coin opened. It's not. Let's pull this out actually and look at the chart while I'm talking about it. So go to a 5-day because there's not a 5-day. So open here at 381. And if you're watching it real time like I was, I changed, they had announced earlier that morning they were going to open at 250. I thought that was a great price and also laughed because that was not going to happen. They went to 3.25 shortly after, before I even got this thing sent out to all the clients. And then eventually they went to 375 and they opened at 381. So what determines this? They can really set it wherever they want. So this is financial engineering at its best. So what changes whether they open at 381 or whether they open down at 250? Nothing changes, right? It's going to go into the open market and the price is going to find itself. So why be so greedy to set it so high? You imagine if everybody had bought it at 250, it goes to 340 and everybody's up 35, 40%. The public relations of that, everybody would be screaming about how awesome Coinbase is, and it would be raging higher this morning. So why be greedy? Why? I don't understand it. I literally don't understand. If somebody can explain that to me, I need them to, because this was a stupid pricing issue. So I hope actually, I have money in it and so do my clients. I think the stock goes higher, but I think the CEO and all of the team that was behind this direct listing, I hope they get drugged through the streets every time there's a direct listing of, hey, remember what Coinbase did to their people. So anyway, does opening original investors get more money? No, they have their shares. Nothing changes. They're locked into their shares. They can't unload them for 3 or 6 months, whatever the pre-direct listing folks are out there. So I mean, yeah, because it's worth more, but ultimately the open market determines the price, right? So it floats up and down. So it's literally stupid. It's too greedy. I mean, it's just greed. That's all it was. Anyway, you're in it at 381. I have not plussed anybody up yet, which means reduce your cost basis. I did use a somewhere between 400 and 500 for most folks is the limit order to get in it, which means you have some extra cash around. Am I plussing up here? I think so, but I don't know yet. I need to think about it because I've been thinking about Luckin all morning and PPD. So, kind of take the easy money first and then go back into the hard decisions a little bit later. So what I think happened though yesterday in the market is Coinbase open popped up here to 430 or so. There's buyers up here. There was. Well, there's at least one, right? Because otherwise there wouldn't be a data point. But then look at the crater all the way down to 310. And that brought the market down with it. I think people were talking yesterday about this is the corporate greed. This is the bubble bursting. So all of the bubble people out there that won't shut up about how the market's overvalued and things are screaming from the rooftops. Well, they got to be right for a couple hours anyway. Now the market's bouncing back hard, but that took the whole market down with it. So I'm not really worried about that. So I did say we're due for a big red day. So it's coming, but it's going to be tough for it to happen while we were crushing earnings, right? So everybody's crushing earnings year over year because that was from last April. So that's kind of a nothing burger. I mean, my company's doubled in size since a year ago, but that was the ultimate bottom, right? So if you measure from the bottom, everybody looks good. But we'll see. We'll have to just continue to keep an eye on the market. The big red day is coming. All right, when you back it out to the SPY, here's where we are. Gosh, that's a long chart. Let's go to the 5-day. So you had the big selling yesterday and actually a red candlestick. So not concerned at all. All right, let's go over to the headlines. All right, here are the headlines for today. That's not the headlines. Here are the headlines for the day. I have my account open. I'm trying to make sure I don't show that to everybody in the free world. So doubled in size due to COVID. Yep. Yeah, I agree that Coinbase long-term story, there's going to be a competitor that's going to come in and eat their margins. But at first, I still think it's a great long-term story. So for the whole coin thing. So somebody just joined. There's the long and shorts. PPD, you can take it now. I took a pre-market at 45.88. It's a merger story. 47.50 is the price. Anyhow, you can do that on your own, or we'll take it here in 4 or 5 minutes when the market opens. All right, back to where we are. There's the pre-market numbers. Everything's in the green. Banks are crushing earnings. Asia's split. Europe is in the green across the board. Bonds below 1.6. Oh my gosh, where is all the inflation talk now? Gone, right? Come on. Oh my gosh, inflation. People are tying the housing market to inflation that's not related. Oil above 60 now, getting pretty significantly above 60. Gold and silver up a little bit. Crypto 63,000 for Bitcoin holding strong despite Coinbase kind of stubbing its stubbing its toe on the direct listing yesterday. All right, so here's what we have. I told you coin was bouncing. So yesterday at 381 was our initial price point. I did not touch it after that. I did not plus anybody up. I didn't go into the secondary. It was boom, we got what we got. Take a deep breath and just let things go, right? So that's how you approach these things. Otherwise, you'll spook yourself into doing something stupid. Okay, so of that 13% we were down yesterday, we got 8% of it back this morning. I think it gets back to even. In other words, Coinbase will be up 13% on the day. You can trade that if you want. It doesn't quite have the numbers to match our trading scenario with a 1R, 3R sort of thing. All right, JP Morgan, yep. Stimulus fueled caffeine high. Yes, definitely 2021 is going to be a rager for the economy. It just is. Taxes will not be enough of a headwind to slow it down probably this year, maybe next year. Okay, Kathy Wood's big on Coinbase. You shouldn't need any more information other than Kathy Wood and Steve Ankerstar are in. That should be enough for everybody to buy. That's sarcasm. Do your own due diligence. Madoff died yesterday. We know about that. Coinbase did come out with an upgrade today. So a little bit of a tailwind there. Okay, that's it for the headlines. Let's go over and talk. Let's get rid of Feo. Let's client accounts. Let's talk Luckin real quick and kind of the Luckin story. Done talking about Coinbase. So Luckin brought it up at 30. Apex, what are you talking about there? But brought it up 30 of. Got it. Okay, I got it. Moving the markets with what we say, right? I hear you. Okay, so for Luckin Coffee, again, the story is this is the Starbucks of China. I'm not saying it's a buy here, but I do want to say it's instructive of a story that when a company starts to implode, it's either going to go out of business or it's not. And that's a key factor, because if it is not going out of business, you are going to get an epic entry point. So we were in Luckin, we being me and some clients, were in Luckin at the $15 range. We rode this thing up to above 50. So again, nice, did some trimming in there, and then the thing cratered on a fraud announcement, and it cratered hard, right? So here the things come screaming down. It went all the way from 50. I don't remember when I exited completely, but at some point I just had to do the sell all goodbye, go cry it out, go sit in the closet, that sort of thing, because of all the money that we gave back there. But at some point you need to get out. So be mature enough to get out when it's time. So remember, that was the ticker LK. So get out. LK goes basically to zero. It restructures. It gets delisted. It becomes LKNCY, which is a 5-letter ticker, which means it's over the counter. And yes, you are getting charged $6.95 every time you go in and out of the name Luckin, or anything over the counter. So just know that. But it craters all the way down to where this chart picks up. I thought it hit below $1. Maybe it didn't. But down here at $1.39. And then you have to assess. If it's not going out of business, you buy it hand over fist. And there's sort of a lot of risk there. But now it's up at 950. It's going to open at 1065 is where it's at now. And we'll go over to the opening screen here and get ready for the open. So that's kind of the Luckin story. A lot of money has been made. So give me a second. We'll get set up for the open. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the On Time, On Target play of the day. You have 4 screens in front of you. On the far left, we have the S&P 500. Futures are up a big, a lot of positivity. We have Luckin Coffee here. Not going to trade that, but it is, I just want to keep an eye on it. It is up big on news. I already in the trade, so it's going to be our trade of the day is PPD. I have my entry point drawn here, my exit. There is the open. We're taking that long. And then for coin, also, we're just keeping an eye on that. Let's see. How aggressive can we be on this? The low of the open here. Let me get this drawn. So again, I'm already in the trade. My issues are, or my math is different than yours from entering here. Low of the day is 46. We're going to give that 50 cents. So let's get in. If it goes above 46.10, we're going to take it. So there it is, 46.10. Take the trade. Give yourself 15 cents down here to 45.95. And what we're going to do on this is it should go to 15 cents. So where our exit point is 46.55 is the exit here. So we're taking this long. Plenty of volume coming into this. Again, the mergers with Thermo Fisher's buying them out. 47.50 is the share. So when you get to your exit point today, assuming this trade works, which obviously I think it will, otherwise I wouldn't be in it. When you get to the exit point, only sell 2/3 of your shares. Okay, take the 3R and then hold the rest all the way up to above 47. So boom, there it goes. We were talking about it. So 46. I'm going to do some math here. So the first R is at 25. So that is in the books. Second R is at 46.40, which is going to be up here right at the top of the screen. I'll go ahead and draw it here at 46.39. and then your exit for 2/3 of your shares are going to be 46.55. So big buy in there. Kind of surprised it came all the way back down. I thought it would continue higher. These are a lot of people taking profits. I believe in our stop, so just hang tight, and I expect this to continue on. Coinbase is actually not going up kind of like I thought it would. It's not acting that way. So yeah, there could be more shares being dumped on the market here. I don't know if all the shares went out yesterday, so that could be what we were seeing. Again, yesterday's low was down at 310. I don't think it tests that again, but it could sell out down here. I wouldn't mind picking up some more shares. So anything below, I would say 350 today, and I'm picking up more shares of Coinbase. Other than that, I'm going to probably let it chill out for another day. All right, let's look at Luckin. Where are we at with Luckin here? Up 11% at 1060. I think it ends up above 11 today when people process this news story. I think this is some traders taking profits, but I think it's going to go higher there. And then, of course, the overall market, SPY's up 2/3, NASDAQ's up 1%, and Dow is also up 2/3 across the big board. There's a few names in the red. ExxonMobil's in the red, Coal's in the red, BP in the red. BP's always in the red. So a few names in the red, but other than that, I think this is going to be a pretty positive day, but we shall see. All right, we've got our trade here. Again, we're in at that 46.10.15 stop, which is a very tight stop because of the specific headline. Normally at a $46 price point, you would have a 40-cent stop or a 45-cent stop. So super tight stop there, but not worried about it. All right, Coinbase selling off hard. Maybe that's Kathy Wood dumping her shares. I don't know. I'm not worried about it. All right, so have this, if you're in this trade, have it pulled up on another screen because we're going to switch over to take a look at the rest of the market. TQLB is a speculative and penny stock name, not really recommended for anybody, but check it out, do your own due diligence if you want. There's our Luckin up 11, Empower up quite a bit, so some psychedelics up here. Coin we looking at was up 8% earlier. Now it's down to can't even grab it, it's moving so fast. You'll see where it ends up. I do think it goes back higher today. GBTC is up. VIPS, VIP Shop. I sold a bunch of that to buy coin. The reason we're in VIP Shop, again, that's a Chinese e-tailer, is because they have a $5 million buyback. So it'll take a long time for that, but it is a good holding with a nice solid floor. So a bunch of names are up 1% or higher. Let's see what's here in the red. Maybe. Come on. There we go. Neo in the red, Moderna in the red, BioNTech in the red. They both jumped yesterday, so not worried about that. Bank of America down after crushing earnings. That's kind of funny. Delta down after whiffing earnings. That's not as funny. JP Morgan down, so you do see some financials. Again, the financials are, it's tough investing in the financials just because they don't have that huge upside that technology does, right? They just go up slowly over time. So lots of good, big green names out there. All right, let's take a look at our trade. Still sitting there, 46, about at the entry point. You can take more here. This is one of these I'm more and more confident as the day goes on that it's going to creep higher. So if you look at the lows of each minute, the lows are establishing new highs. So I don't think I can draw. Yeah, maybe I can. Look at this. Bam. So that's showing that kind of pattern. You had the huge initial buy here at the first minute. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 minutes in, and it's building some, building a floor there, if you will. Okay. All right. So keep that trade on. I'll update that right before we leave air for the day. All right. Let's talk about real quick a Chapter 15 bankruptcy. I know, boring legalese, and making sure I go to the right one. So here's what you have. So it's different than Chapter 11. There's also a Chapter 7 bankruptcy that's kind of common. So what is it? Well, it's between U.S. and foreign entities to be able to protect U.S. financial interests. So, I mean, it's self-serving to the U.S. Don't think it's not. But the it fosters cooperation. So it allows people to, especially with ADRs, which again are those depository receipts that we own for the US version of the company. It allows us to be able to get in on the restructure instead of just what's going on in China. They went through their own deal with China. They got Luckin got a big fine, and then coming out of that, they basically set the conditions for them to, reduce the risk for everybody involved and allow them to go, the stock to go back higher, which means, allow the company to become healthier, which allows the stock to become higher. So it's a international protection from international bankruptcy for the U.S. If we didn't have this, then you could see, you wouldn't be nearly as comfortable investing in foreign companies because they could be allowed to be scuttled and go under without any U.S. involvement, which would obviously be bad. So you can get into the history. I don't think that's so much important, but if you hear that name again, just realize that's a U.S./foreign arrangement sort of thing. And you see all the types of bankruptcies over here as well. Not familiar with anything except for 7-Eleven and now 15. So, all right, that's all we're going to talk about there. Let's go back to our trade, then we'll close out for the day. Luckin just sold off. Let's see, share. Here we go. That's the right screen. So, all right, well, if it hits 45.95, you're out. Again, 46 is the low of the day. You would think that would establish a floor. My floor that I talked about didn't hold as soon as I talked about it, so maybe I should stop talking about it. Here you can see Luckin opened at 10.6, down at 10.18, so probably some profit taking there. I do think it continues back higher today. And then Coinbase, don't really know what's going to happen with Coinbase. I thought it would bounce significantly. So far, it's trying to hold. I'm on a 5-minute chart, so that's why that looks weird. Get to a 1-minute chart, so it looks more normal. So it's trying to hold, trying to establish a floor to go back higher. So, all right, we shall see how it all turns out. With that, I'm going to let you guys go. We'll be back at you. I'm out of town tomorrow, but we are having, I'll be in a hotel room again, or actually I probably won't be in the hotel room because my kids will be in there since we're on the late wave for volleyball. So I will be out and about in the city of Dallas somewhere to give tomorrow's presentation. And I will be wearing my Yeti jersey for the Austin Football Club that has their first match of the Major League Soccer season on Saturday against LA. But anyhow, I'll wear that jersey tomorrow on air so you guys can see that. With that, you guys have a good one. We'll talk to you back tomorrow.